Alright, so here's how I would do these feathers. Now, of course, I have my own specific style, the way I draw and the way I sketch, but this is the way that I would handle these feathers, because they look very soft. So first of all, here's my little sketch of kind of like what you did. So basically, I would go underneath, and I would choose. I'll choose the yellow first, and I have a brush, Sketchmaster. Basically, all it is like a. I don't know. I mean, you can download my brushes, or you can pretty much use any brush that paints like this. So I'll just show you what it looks like. So this is how it paints. So it is pressure sensitive, but it doesn't. The sides aren't very. There's not like a feather on the edges. It's just like a paintbrush that kind of works like that. So the first thing that I would do is I would just draw in the direction of the feathers, making sure that my brush is pressure sensitive, like that. And if I do a little bit too much, then I'll go into smudge, and just kind of like scale it back. Like if you put a little too much yellow, like I have here, I just use the smudge and like scale it back a little bit. And then I would do another layer underneath, and I would do the white, and I would go back to Sketchmaster or whatever brush that you find that's comparable, and I would just go in the general direction of the feathers, and I wouldn't be afraid about making them a little more grand. Like I don't bother trying to match them completely, because there's just too much detail. So I'm not really trying to get a photorealistic. I just want to have the feel of the feathers. Some of them are kind of long. Okay. I'll do some of them a little bit heavier. I'll do some heavier ones down here. Okay, so now that we have that, what I would do is I'll just go ahead and merge these two layers. And then I would alpha lock the feather layer. So I would alpha lock these feathers that we just did. And then I would take my airbrush, like my any regular like soft airbrush. And since these are alpha locked, I see that there's gray here. Let me make this picture a little smaller, since we don't really need the picture. But since I see that there's gray in there, so then I'll take a little bit of a lighter gray. And since we're alpha locked, I would just kind of paint in some of that gray. It looks like it's basically on the top. And then I would take my eraser, and I'll take Sketchmaster or any brush. Sketchmaster is just so this is my Sketchmaster brush. Any brush that's similar to that would work. So I'll take the eraser, and I don't want it too big, so we'll make it so it's about like that big, but it's pressure sensitive. So what I would do is I would just go like this, and I would look at the feathers, so they look like they're sort of angled in like that, like they're sort of angled like that for the feathers. So I would just study the feathers, and then however the feathers are, I would just go like that, and really just kind of give the feathers some life, so that they actually look like the feathers. But it's important to look and see, which direction these lines are going. So these are all kind of straight down once they get down here. So And I would just give the feathers, this is essentially just giving the feathers some texture so that they're not just like paintbrush strokes. And you can do the same thing with these. And again, this is just using the eraser and just sort of erasing in lines. And just sort of match the direction. I mean, I'm sort of just freeballing it here, but just matching the directions of the feathers. And that's pretty much how I would do that. I can see that it's a little fuller. So I'm actually going to I'll use a lighter gray, just because it's behind these. And I'll just do the same thing and just kind of, well, it's a little too gray. I'll use it a little bit lighter. And if I think it needs more filling back here, then I'll just do that. And if you need to go over top of it, you know, like if you wanted to add a little more, you know, and I would actually have some fun and really push some of the feathers, even though the picture doesn't really show it, but sometimes I'll just do a little bit more than in the photo. But that's pretty much how I would handle it. I would just go in and do these, just do the feathers loosely. And then when it comes to the layer up top, then I'll just use smudge. Let's say I wanted to use smudge and, you know, just kind of, let's see, how are these together? Okay, so those are sort of, so I'll just merge all these, and then if I wanted to, I would just blend that together. And just make it cohesive. And to blend, I'm just using my same graffiti brush. But yeah, whatever kind of blends, then I would just do long strokes and just blend everything together and make it look like it's all one thing. Brighten this up a little bit. So yeah, that's pretty much how I would do it, just to kind of make them soft. So yeah, hope that helps. Thanks so much for watching. I really appreciate it. Give me a like and a subscribe, and be sure to follow me on Instagram at DrugFreeDave. As always, keep drawing, and I'll see you in the next video.
What?